was raised in like in a family that has no love.
Andrew and Melanie knew each other for 15 years prior to becoming a couple 5 years ago. In fact, at some point, Melanie was Andrew's sister-in-law.
He used to be married to my identical twin sister.
You couldn't find any other women somewhere to go out with.
And though birthdays and holidays may have been a little awkward, the two committed to staying together until now, 2 years into their marriage.
Valentine's Day, I call him up and we're talking, and this girl gets on the phone and she says, you know what, it's Valentine's Day, I'm gonna go blank your husband right now.
Has Andrew moved on with another woman who isn't related to Melanie?
So you still with this other girl?
Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Andrew Suarez and Melanie Davidson Suarez. The two of you have known each other for 20 years, dated for 3 years, and have been married for 2 years, and you do not want to be married anymore. You have a financial issue you would like me to resolve, and I will get to that momentarily. But before I do, Mrs. Suarez, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your relationship and why we're here today in divorce court?
We're here today because cheating is in his blood. First of all, he used to be married to my identical twin sister. I should have known this because the night before they got married at their bachelorette party, I was pregnant, so he didn't know I was at the house. I caught him coming home and bringing a girl to my sister's home.
So he was married to your twin sister.
Yeah.
And the night before he married her, he had sex with another woman.
Well, I don't know. I caught him bringing her home.
Bringing her home.
Yeah, 'cause
you
he
don't
didn't
know
know I
what was
was there.
going on.
Right. He didn't
Mr.
know I was
Suarez, are you going to cop to that or are you going to let that go?
No, I'm gonna let that go. I brought that girl home for her brother, not for me.
there. My brother wasn't even there.
It wasn't you, so we don't know. Okay.
No.
How do you end up marrying twin sisters? How does that work
It just
out?
happens, I guess.
I mean, isn't it a little awkward at Christmas and family reunions and whatnot?
Yeah, I try not to go around there that much to the family occasions.
Yeah, it's got to be hard. Yeah.
My sister doesn't care, though, at all.
Well, you say you knew that he was probably a wrong guy when he married your twin sister. How'd you
Right.
end up with it?
Well, I was just in a bad spot. I didn't trust men, and he came along, and I trusted him. I've known him forever, so it was a comfort thing. So it just
So tell me how much of a cheater he really is then.
Well, okay, there's this other older women, and I noticed that they were texting back and forth like nonstop all day, every day. So then that made me be like, Then I opened an email from her, and she says, I couldn't help but to let you know that I'm so attracted to you, I can't help it. So I hit reply, and I told her, if you ever talk to my husband like that, I'll kick your butt, and I'll let your husband know as well, because I was told they were married, even though, come to find out, they weren't even married. Her and the guy she was with. Right. So then on Valentine's Day, I call him up, and we're talking, and this girl gets on the phone, and she says, you know what, it's Valentine's Day, I'm gonna go blank your husband right now. And I was like, oh yeah? I hung up the phone, I drove straight there, threw my car in park, got out, went to the front door, and usually it's locked. Today, it was unlocked, so I don't know, by the grace of God, I just opened the door, opened the screen, went in, and I went after her. She ran in the bathroom, locked the door, called 911, and was screaming back at me, this isn't your home anymore, da-da-da-da. So then, after that...
Mr. Suarez, were you aware of all of that?
Yeah, something like that happened.
Something like that?
Basically what happened was I did a job for this woman, and later on that night she had emailed me and said, I'm attracted to you. And I left it at that. A couple months later, she comes snooping on my email, and she sees that this girl wrote that. She goes all crazy and takes off and starts telling people that I'm sleeping with some other woman, and none of that happened until about a month later, me and that girl started hanging out because she had left, and she had been sending me pictures of her and other men. So I said, well, why not? I'll sleep with this other woman then.
So did you leave him eventually?
He never came home, so I was like, I'm not going to stay here if he's out with her, you know what I mean?
When did he stop coming home?
He stopped coming home from the point I found that email. He was out with her.
Oh, he was
all night.
gone.
Yes, and if he says it's totally platonic, no, I beg to differ, because they got the date they met tattooed on them, each of them, which was November 11th, 2012, and we were still married, a happy couple, and I thought nothing of it.
Do you have that date tattooed on you?
Yeah.
And it's the same date that's tattooed on the woman that you cheated on your wife with?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, That's just so low.
That's not when I cheated on her with. That was the day I met her, and then we became friends. But I didn't.
You mean that? Now, come on. I mean, come on. I'm grown. I'm over 50 years old. You gonna come up here and tell me that you got identical tattoos with some chick you just met? Because we were friends? I meet people all the time. I'd be tatted up with dates up and down their head. What is that?
We had developed a friendship. Once she had went off the deep end, thinking I was sleeping with this woman from seeing the email, all that girl's support system left her. She had nobody but me, and I felt bad
She
because
shouldn't be doing that.
you know, my wife had ended this girl's relationship over an email. It was platonic until then. We didn't touch.
It was platonic until then. You didn't touch, but you tatted each other up. So you were on your way, right? I mean, the touching hadn't come yet, but it was coming, right?
No, we had tatted. We got tatted after the fact, after all this had went down with her.
Yeah, but you were on your way there, though, weren't you? Yeah, you were on your way.
Okay, I was on my way.
And you never came home after that?
I came home once, and I tried to tell her, "Hey, let's stop. Let's stop the fighting." And then she took off. So what was I supposed to do?
So you still with this other girl?
No. But
You moved on, so you got the date on there, and you've moved on?
yes.
Oh.
But in my defense,
How many dates do you have on your body?
a few, Your Honor,
20.
a few.
How many?
Probably 5.
Are you serious?
When Divorce Court continues, what makes Andrew do the unthinkable?
How you gonna send somebody a fake positive HIV test? Divorce isn't easy. If you want to share your story, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Andrew Suarez, who once was married to his wife Melanie's identical twin sister. But was the double trouble worth it for Andrew?
When you married her, did you love her? We've been talking about you for a long time, Mr. Suarez, and I want to stop talking about you and get your point of view. What do you think is the primary problem with this marriage? Why are we in divorce court?
The number one reason is she doesn't trust me. She hasn't trusted me since day one because most of the other men she's been with are just nothing but losers. So they always cheat on her and lie to her. And I have done that in the past, just recently, but it was not like that from when we first met.
So when in the beginning you were faithful, you were a good dude.
Yes.
Right,
And-
but let me tell you, he's a compulsive liar because I'd like to submit this to you, please.
Oh Lord.
Look, check this out. Just wait. He sent me this email because this girl, I've heard things about her, so I wanted to be safe and go get checked
Right.
by the doctor to make sure I didn't have anything. Next thing I know, I get this email.
Oh wow.
It's fake, mind you. He made it up. He sent it. He's a good computer hacker. He sent that to me, and I'll read
How
it.
you gonna send somebody a fake positive HIV test?
Because she was telling me that this girl was so dirty and there were so many men. So I
So
figured
you thought this would be amusing?
Yeah, and my sick sense of humor, yes, Your Honor. She knows me. She knows how I joke, and I figured she would text me right back and say I was joking about it, but she didn't.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know what. Ooh. When you married her, did you love her?
Oh yes.
What went wrong?
Just I have a little boy, and she will not help with parenting whatsoever. I try to.
Explain that to me. Hang on, explain that to me.
Well, I try to work 40 plus hours a week and go to school, and she has issues with watching them. It's always, well, why can't it be the other parent's job to watch them? Why does it have to be me? And my whole thing is, well, I'm married to her. You know, when she married me, she knew I had a son.
Right.
So why couldn't she? She knew I had a little boy. So part of that responsibility is helping out with my child. I believe. I help out with feeding her, paying her bills.
Now, Mrs. Suarez, do you have a problem? You married the man. You knew he had a kid. Do you have a problem taking care of the kid?
I do because I don't trust where he is. I will not watch. I refuse to watch his kid if he's out running around with this other broad. I'm sorry. I don't trust
But he
him.
does have a job, though, right?
He does, but I don't trust that he works as much as he claims he does.
Well, then what is the child supposed to do? I mean, he didn't pick him or
Right,
his
that's
mother.
for sure. Right.
So he's got to have some stability in his life.
Right.
Don't you think you could just kind of like woman up and do that?
I guess, even though
What?
I mean,
I
I
don't
have
trust him.
pay stubs. I'm at school. She knows where I'm at. She can call my office and see that I'm there. It's not like I'm lying to her about that. She just doesn't. I think she just has. She was raised in in a family that has no love. They never hug, kiss, say thank you, show any emotion with each other. And to me, the way they raise children is, you feed them, you put clothes on their back, and put a roof over their head.
That's interesting. May be the case, but my question to you is, you end up marrying two of them out of that family that could show no love, and you couldn't find any other women somewhere to go out with other than in that family that you were.
No, I had dated other women for a few years before I before I started dating Melanie. It wasn't
But
from one sister
you
to
dated
another.
her twin. You married her twin sister too.
Yes. I was with her twin sister from 16 to 25, and then her and I started dating at like 28.
Is your sister mad at you?
No, I asked her prior to even talking to him, and she said, "Go ahead. I don't even."
You can
care."
have him. Don't want him.
Yep.
Not interested.
She said, "Get him. Leave me alone."
When divorce court continues, Melanie's parenting skills come into question.
If I call her up and she's watching her son, she doesn't say she's watching him. She's babysitting. What mother babysits their child?
Would you marry your ex's twin? Call 1-800-282-1991. Vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call 1-800-282-1991 now.
If you would like your case heard on divorce court, call us toll free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter at divorcecourt. Divorce Court returns with the case of Melanie Davidson Suarez, who doesn't appreciate her husband Andrew's criticism of her parenting, but has Melanie been letting too much slide?
You're right on the discipline, Ms. Suarez.
She doesn't trust me with anything. One time I was going to get my grandparents from the airport. Right?
Yeah.
And she's cool with it. She just, we're just driving. I drop her off at her house. As I'm backing out, she comes walking out. So I figure she wants to say bye to me, maybe even give me a kiss goodbye, right? She opens up my back door and throws a soda in my back seat in case I was to get a woman and sleep with her in my back seat. There'd be soda spilt everywhere.
Now, Mrs. Suarez, you've got to have a better explanation than that.
I don't even know what
Please
he's
tell me
talking
he
about.
made
No.
that up.
Honestly,
knows
that was
exactly
so
what
long
I'm
ago.
talking
I don't even remember why I did that. I did do that, but it wasn't because of no other girl being in the back seat. He said something
Well,
that
what
made me mad.
possible reason would you have to throw soda on the back seat of his car?
Probably because I thought he was talking to one of my family members, because he likes to do that.
In a romantic
Yes,
sort of
of
way?
course.
Because he's,
Of course.
he's known for dipping in the same well.
There are about 5 different wells in my family alone.
It's a good well.
Mr. Suarez. You killing me.
So, I don't know. He's short-tempered. He's so short-tempered that he got mad at me because I have a son. His last name is Davidson.
Right.
Right? And so when I changed my name, I changed it to Davidson-Suarez. He got so mad. He said it sounded so stupid that I couldn't figure out what last name I wanted to choose. He didn't even take in consideration that I still wanted part of my last name to still be as my son's.
Mr. Suarez, did you get mad when she hyphenated her name?
She doesn't raise her son. She doesn't have custody of her son. She hasn't had custody of her son since the first year he was born. So I think that's part of the reason why she has a problem with watching my children.
Yeah, because he says, I married you. You married me knowing I had a son. I married you knowing your mother has custody of your son. I still have a son, though.
Yeah, but she doesn't watch her son. When she's watching, if I call her up and she's watching her son, she doesn't say she's watching him. She's babysitting. What mother babysits their child?
And you wanted her to watch your child, and
At
she
first,
didn't,
yeah.
you didn't trust her to watch her own?
No, just like the other day, I'd walk down the kitchen and there's spilt ice on the floor. I stepped in. I said, "Oh, someone spilled ice." Immediately, she starts going off on about my children, and I was like, "Well, I know who did it. It was her son," because she feels like I'm always attacking her
throws
son.
the mother role in my face, like just because you didn't raise your kid.
What she does is she doesn't reprimand her son for anything. It's always just let it go. And And, you know.
Now, are you light on the discipline, Mrs. Suarez?
No, I mean,
No. Look at me.
yeah,
Don't
maybe
look
a
at
little
him.
bit.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Right.
You're killing him.
Yeah.
You're just killing him. The world's not going to love him like you do. You're going to send him
Yeah.
out there without the tools to monitor himself. And he can't monitor himself. The state will monitor him
Yeah,
for
right.
him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to live an unsupervised life, you have to have a self-disciplined life. And you
Right.
can't learn self-discipline if your mama don't discipline you. He's got to
Right.
have rules and structure. You're killing him. You're making it easy for you, but you're killing him. Don't
Right.
do it.
When Divorce Court continues, has Melanie hit a new low?
You have to pay her to watch your son?
Yes.
Are you serious? You make him do that? Would you marry your ex's twin? Call 1-800-282-1991. Vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call 1-800-282-1991 now.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Andrew Suarez and Melanie Davidson Suarez, who went from being in-laws to becoming husband and wife, but now, after 2 years of marriage, want nothing more to do with each other.
Mr. Suarez, you tell me why you believe I should award you $500 from Mrs. Suarez.
I went out of town to visit my brother, some family, and she had asked to borrow some money. So I told her, okay. So I look on the statement, and there's like $400 taken out. Mm-hmm. And I asked her what the money was for. She said, oh, it was to make you a quilt for our anniversary. Well, there's not $350, $400 worth of material in that quilt. Maybe $50.
Right.
So there's like $350 right there that she hasn't. She even told me, would you like to see the receipts? I said, yeah, I'd like to see the receipts. And then the subject slowly changes to, I never see the receipts. I've never seen the receipts to this day. And then, yeah, she'll always just take money out of the safe, and then she's always mean to put it back when I catch her. But then that never happens because I have to pay her to watch my son.
Right.
So.
You have to pay her to watch
Yes.
your son?
Yes.
Are you serious? You make him
No.
do that?
Oh my
Whatever.
God.
The $500 is what is an accumulated amount of cash that you believe that she has pilfered over time.
Oh, I'm sure there's more than that, but this
Oh,
is about as
please.
much as I could find evidence for right this second.
Well, why don't you show me what you have? Because I'm still a little confused. So these are ATM and cash withdrawals. It's a nice looking quilt.
I
But
know,
it's not
right?
worth
I did a good job.
$350.
Do you admit that this withdrawal is yours?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
July 12, 2013, $400 plus the $3 that you gave away to the bank.
That was the
for
day
using
that I
wrong
went out of town.
machine. Was that you?
I don't even know what this is.
Okay.
It was the day I left. She took my ATM card that day. I went out of town that day, and she used it.
Thank you.
This is what I got to say. Mr. Suarez, I think you're a nice guy.
Thank
I
you.
think you're a nice guy who hasn't come to a conclusion about what he is, what he wants in a wife. I think you like being with somebody, so you just pick a person. And you don't take your time, you don't learn what you want and what you need, and you got to be alone for a while before you can do that. Don't just pick the nearest chick. It doesn't work out because everybody is who they are. So, think before you get back in that dating pool. Dry off, stay in the sun a little bit and find out who you are and what it is you really need and what you want. Mrs. Suarez, I like you. I think you're a little off.
Right.
I think that you've got a big, serious hole somewhere that somebody needs somebody to hurt you, and you're scared to death of being hurt again. So at the slightest inkling that he may be doing something wrong to you, you bam! I mean, you go from 0 to 60 at the possibility that he might someday could think about
Right.
maybe wanting to hurt you. And you just go there. And what you do when you do that is you bring about the result you're trying to ignore. You bring about the pain that you're trying to avoid. Mr. Suarez, I don't think you know what you're talking about. I most certainly don't know what you're talking about. Therefore, there will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
All right. Parties may leave the courtroom.
Andrew and Melanie have decided to hold off on their divorce and to give their marriage another chance. Andrew says he's taking his vows more seriously, and Melanie is spending more time with his son. Melanie says that Judge Lynn's advice has helped her heal from her past, and the couple